Welcome back to the Metal Command Podcast. Tony back here with you on this episode. Now let's get into the new Dark Angel single, Extinction Level Event. Dark Angel, of course, one of the thrash bands that was lesser known back in the day, coming back after many years putting out a single. That single, of course, has garnered a lot of negative reaction. A lot of people do not like it. I mean, you do have some of the diehard fans that love it. I'm not particularly a fan of it. And most of the people that reacted on my page when I talked about it are in agreement with me. And when I'm talking about the Facebook page. So let's get into this, because not only did this song receive a lot of very negative feedback, I am not particularly a fan of it. And this song is a perfect example of everything that I think is wrong when it comes to the future or potential future of the heavy metal scene. So let's talk about the feedback and what people are saying about the song. I mean, most people are saying the song is absolutely terrible. They think the production sucks. They think that after all of these years, the band could do better. And about 90% of the people that dislike the song are bashing the vocals, and they think the vocals sound like one person said in a comment that I read. I don't think it was on my page. Somebody said that the vocals are the Extinction Level Event for the band. So I have some thoughts on this. I don't agree with everything that has been said about the song, and I agree with a lot that has been said. So first of all, I have the three previous Dark Angel albums. Darkness Descends, Leaves Scars, Time Does Not Heal. I don't have the debut. I think I might have listened to the debut, but if I own it, it's lost somewhere. But essentially, from my perspective, I never thought Dark Angel was really a great band to begin with. They weren't like absolutely horrendously terrible, but I never really thought they were that great. I think part of the reason people love them is that Gene Hoglan has done so many amazing projects, and that's the band he came from. So I think they get a little bit overhyped because of that. But I'm not really a hater of their music, but I'm not particularly a huge fan. And I think it's fair to say that before I comment on the single. So a lot of people hate the production. They hate the song. They think that the vocals sound awful and that it's a disappointment and that the band can do better. So let me tell you with what I agree and disagree with and why I dislike this song. So when people talk about the production, the drums, the guitars, just the sound of the song in general, I don't think that the production really sounds all that bad. A lot of people think it's terrible. I would probably disagree with that, at least for my preferences. I don't think the song sounds bad at all. Do I think the band can absolutely do better? Absolutely. And let me be very fair and say this. Folks, it's one song. The album, quite possibly, might be very, very good. I say that because we all know, I've ranted about this before, record labels and even some bands many times have very poor judgment when they pick singles for albums. And I have albums that I absolutely love where like the first or second single or all three singles are like the worst songs on the album. So the album could possibly be good. But as of the recording of this, they've only released one song off of it, which I don't think is very good. Now, the next aspect of this are people complaining about how terrible the vocals sound. So here's my take on that. And this goes into what I dislike about the song and why I do not like it. Do the vocals sound bad? Well, it depends on how you look at it. The singing itself, like Ron Reinhardt's voice, does it sound bad? No. like I said, I don't think the production of this song is bad. And I think he actually sounds good. But my problem with the vocals is that when you listen to the song, the vocals like don't fit the song. Like the way the song is put together and the way that it's written is what I do not like about it. I do not like the way the vocals were done for this song. I don't like the vocal approach to the song. When people say the band could do better, absolutely they can do better. And that is my main problem with it. Like when I listen to this, I'm like, these vocals the vocal lines themselves just feel like they don't fit this song. And that might be a big reason why people say, oh, the vocals sound bad. Now, there's a lot of people making some very stupid comments and some very absurd comments about the band. And I get that the guy that wrote the song is a former member of the band that's no longer with us anymore. But it is what it is. Like I said, I'm not a big fan. And I think the song is actually pretty bad. And I am in agreement 110% that this band is totally capable of doing better than this. So why do I think this song symbolizes something that is, how shall I say it, a big problem for the future of the metal scene? Why did I say that in the beginning? And I'm going to explain that here in a little bit. I said that because this band, like many others, bands that, come out of nowhere, that have been gone 30 years, 25 years, 40 years, a lot of these bands will come out of nowhere and get what we call legacy band privilege. Or legacy band immunity, meaning that just because this legacy band comes back, some people will automatically say that they are great. But more importantly, when you have so many younger or newer metal bands that have come onto the scene that are extremely talented, especially writing songs a lot better than what Dark Angel is doing, people will roll the red carpet out because Gene Hoglan, obviously being the phenomenal musician and drummer that he is and has accomplished as he is, people will roll that red carpet right out for this band and ignore most of the younger talent or the newer talent that is out there. And it's not just Dark Angel. It's a lot of other like legacy bands that might have been around for a few years and they had a little short stint. They weren't that popular, at least not compared to their contemporaries. And they just come out of nowhere and suddenly everybody's rolling out the red carpet. Because what's going to happen, and I've seen this happen numerous times, is that this band is going to be handed a lot of opportunities that a lot of other great bands will never get. They will get festival slots. They will get opening slots, and they won't have to pay 20, 30, 40 grand in those opening slots just for the privilege of touring with a legacy act. Like a band like Dark Angel would be considered kind of a legacy act, more of like an underground one, but that is what they are considered. And they're going to be getting handed opportunities because they are back, regardless of how good or bad the new album is actually going to be. Like, for example, no one's going to tell Dark Angel, hey, you got to pay 30 grand to us just for the privilege of touring with us. Oh, and by the way, you get to play right when the doors open when nobody is in the building. Like, nobody's going to do that to them. But most of your newer bands, that will happen. And a lot of those bands will be suckers and actually pay the money to play to nobody. Or practically nobody. That is something that happens. But it won't happen to these guys. Not only that, but somebody termed legacy band immunity. No matter how good or bad the album is, you're going to have a huge group of people that are going to say, hey, I think it's cool. I'm going to like this band because it's a legacy band. No matter how good or bad the album is. Because there are people that, and I'm sure there are people that legitimately like the song. And I'm sure with many other more obscure bands that come out of nowhere to make a comeback, I'm sure there are people that legitimately like the music, but folks, this happens a lot. And it goes into why I've always said, no matter how good your music is, it doesn't matter. What matters is if people think they can make money off of you. That's another episode that I'm going to be recording. But nevertheless, this is sort of a byproduct of bands like Dark Angel and many others who have come back who really weren't that popular compared to their contemporaries back in the day when they were around. And they're going to be handed a lot of opportunities. So I'll end off this segment by saying this. I'm going to have an open mind when it comes to their full-length album whenever that comes out. I'm not going to judge an entire album based on one single that might be bad. And folks, if I did that, then I probably wouldn't be into probably half the albums that I'm into, or half the bands I'm into. Some bands just put out a bad single. It happens. So it remains to be seen whether this full-length Dark Angel album is going to be good. Now, a lot of people are giving them a lot of crap about the AI cover art. I really don't care about that. It looks kind of cool, actually, for being AI. A lot of people are giving them crap about that. That really isn't something I really care about, to be honest. I care more about the music. The art's kind of like frosting on the cake. But right now, they put out an album that's not very... they put out a song that's not very good. And it's not the production. It's not the sound of the vocals. Again, it ended off here saying that I don't feel the vocals fit the song that well at all. And that the band can do a lot better. So it remains to be seen. I will have an open mind going into listening to the full-length album. I'm not going to dismiss the album. But this is a band that should and could do much better than this. Hey everybody, Tony here from the Metal Command Podcast. Again, I appreciate your support. Since 1998, I have hosted this show in one form or another, starting off in radio and now in the podcast format. Again, thanks for watching, and if you like what you see and hear on this show, by all means, please hit the subscribe button, hit the little bell to be notified anytime I do post a video, and if you see this program on any other form of social media, please give me a follow there. Again, I always appreciate your support.